Hi, I'm Randy with Savage Station Farm, and today we're talking about egg production in winter with our laying hens. So in the winter, the days get shorter, it gets cold, and we have a number of birds that are actually molting at this point. Much of the egg production that chickens are going to have is driven by the photoperiod. So as the days get shorter, so does an egg production. So right now, the hens are spending their time putting all their energy into staying warm, for the most part. So also, around 18 months old, hens are going to go through a molting process. And when they molt, they lose all their old feathers and they regrow new feathers. It's calorically expensive. So rather than putting all their energy into producing new eggs, one, they're trying to grow all new feathers, and two, stay warm. And right now it's January. And that whole molting process takes probably like anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we can have a deficit of eggs for a little while. And then springtime rolls around, the days get longer, the plants start sprouting, bugs are everywhere, and the birds are foraging, and all of a sudden egg production goes right through the roof. That's when you take all those excess eggs and you stockpile them, and you set them aside, either canning them or water glassing them. Those are going to be videos for another day. But basically, there's periods in all of nature. We have ups and downs, we have boom and bust. And during the winter, chickens naturally have a reduction in egg production. So all the ladies have predetermined numbers of eggs that they're going to have in their lifetime. So there's a couple kind of schools of thought here. One, you have your chickens and you run them on high test feed and you put artificial lighting in and you crank out and maximize egg production. All you can get within 2 years, and then you call the birds and move on and get new birds all the time. But chickens will live like 10 years. We prefer to keep the birds outside and let them take a season where they molt, let production slow down, we don't add any artificial light, and we let them to go through their whole natural process, replace those old feathers, get new feathers, because that's what's going to help keep them warm. But we're still going to get those same eggs just over a longer time period. There are some more costs, some more labor, but the birds are healthier. When the birds do come into heavy egg production again, it usually coincides with longer daylight. When all the bugs are out, there's more plants to forage on, and the nutrient density of the eggs is actually increased by that point. It's a much better system for having chickens that are happy, healthy, and strong. And the eggs as well. Another thing too, is you'll see actually a lot of farms out there, even pasture-raised farms, that follow that kind of thinking where they will just run their birds really hot for a couple of years and swap them out. They're just buying 1 or 2 breeds, like a red sex-link, a golden comet. These are basically industrial birds that were bred to live on pasture better than confinement birds, but still produce maximum egg production. But yet have no other skills, like they can't hatch their own chicks because they're dumb. They don't have any survival skills, so the foxes and the hawks get them. They can't get out of the way and hardly take care of themselves, except unless you completely artificially manipulate the environment to keep them alive. They might be out on grass and doing great things, but within a couple of years, a lot of those farmers are just culling those birds. But we prefer to have a diversity of eggs and a diversity of breeds. So you'll often see in our egg cartons several different colors, because we're running several different breeds. Not all the breeds we're keeping for maximum production. Most of our breeds all have different traits. Some are excellent mothers, some are amazing foragers, most of them are super resilient and hardy all on their own, and some are great egg layers. You might notice we have like 3 or 4 or 5 roosters kicking around. Having that diversity of birds ensures a more well-rounded flock. We're going to have some of these chickens going probably like 5 years, 8 years, quite a while. And a lot of those hens that we have that are really laying a lot early on, they do slow down over time, but some of those hens go off to become mothers and hatch out chicks on our farm. So our operation isn't completely optimized for maximizing production just because the birds are outside. We've got a situation where our birds are about as free range and wild and diverse as you can get, while still producing a product for us, still being allowed to express themselves as chickens. It shows in our birds and it shows in the eggs. And so that's how we do it. So, come winter, there's usually a little bit of a drop in production, but it's just a little bit of time. The days are already getting longer. We just got a couple months till the equinox, and then we're going to be coming into spring. and then summer, and before you know it, we'll have more eggs than we know what to do with. So, don't get bent out of shape if you've got chickens and you're seeing a loss. It's going to come back around. When you have that huge abundance of eggs, that's the time to start thinking about preserving them, water glassing perhaps, canning them for the future when you have less of them. Thanks. We'll see you next time.